Tonight on News 5 Live, a bloody holiday weekend across the country as several murders, shootings and chopping incidents are reported. Team Pact crosses the finish line first in this weekend's Ruta Maya Challenge. The Empresario heads to Taiwan with a delegation of government officials and a posthumous pardon for Nora Parham. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos. Y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
Are you looking for the right product to keep your family and your home safe? Then Spark Alcohol is exactly what you've been looking for. It prevents the spread of many diseases. It's also fast-drying, safe, and conveniently packaged in a spray bottle. Protect your family and your home with Spark Alcohol. Exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited.
Las tradiciones son atemporales, pero mantenerse al día es necesario. DigiWallet me permitirá hacer todas mis compras favoritas. Es fácil y seguro. Solo es agregar dinero a mi DigiWallet y ya puedo irme de compras en mis tiendas locales favoritas. Oye tú, a mi familia le encanta. A mí también. Es nuestra nueva tradición. DigiWallet, próximamente.
My parents always said, when it's time to build, invest in quality products that last a lifetime, even if it means paying a little more. It is now my turn to invest in my own home, and it's not even a question. It has to be Oran Windows. My contractor recommends Oran because of the heavy-duty construction, the thickest gauge blades on the market, and the dual locks that allow lower louvers to close independently for privacy while the top remains open for airflow. These features make Oran aluminum louver windows the best on the market.
With Oran aluminum louver windows, you get strength, durability, and beauty with an added layer of security and protection against debris and damaging winds. Come in and check out the variety of sizes and colors at Design Depot, located at Mile 3 Philip Goldson Highway in Belize City.
evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, March 8th. I am Sabrina Daly. 26-year-old Gilroy Thomas and 24-year-old Tyreek Swazo have been arrested and charged for the weekend murder of Emroy Tracy. Tracy was fatally stabbed during an altercation near the corners of Curacao and Iguana Streets in Belize City on Saturday. During the scuffle, a knife was produced by one of the men who proceeded to stab Tracy multiple times.
On Saturday, police visited the Carl Hushner Memorial, where they found the lifeless body of Emroy Tracy, 23 years. Initial investigation revealed that Tracy was at the corner of Curacao and Iguana Streets when he got into an altercation with two other men, and one of them took out a knife and inflicted his fatal injuries to him. We know that police have two persons detained, and hopefully we would be able to have charges very soon against him.
An alleged burglar lost his life over the weekend when he was attacked by a property owner in Santa Rosa Village. Jeremiah Ack was found motionless when police arrived on the scene. His purported killer was the one who led the responding officers to the location. According to Manuel Bo, his home was burglarized by Ack, who was known by the nickname Rabbit. A physical altercation ensued between Bo and the suspected thief, which ended in Ack's demise. Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood provides additional details of the charge that has been brought against Bo.
This person has since been charged for manslaughter, actually. This was Manuel Bo, a Guatemalan farmer of that village, who reported that his house was broken into sometime during the day. This is on the 5th also, around 4:05 p.m. when police visited that scene, where he showed them the lifeless body of Jeremiah Ack, 37 years, Belizean, unemployed, of Santa Rosa Village. He reported to police that while he was doing his own investigation into the burglary at his house, he approached Ack, where an argument ensued between both men, and he caused injuries to Mr. Ack. He has since been charged for manslaughter. We are certain that the consultation occurred between investigators and the DPP's office, so that's the directive to charge for manslaughter instead of murder.
Did he have any empirical evidence that his residence was burglarized by the deceased?
Well, he was informed the deceased nickname was Rabbit, and according to him, somebody told him that Rabbit was the person that broke into his home. But I'm certain that it had to be that investigators found out that either one, he didn't pull the weapon that may have caused the fatal injury to Rabbit, or else he would have been charged for murder as opposed to manslaughter.
A customer service representative was shot on Monday morning, shortly after midnight, as he was socializing with a group of men on Bocatora Street here in Belize City. Corey Popper was struck once to his body when someone from inside a black four-door pickup took aim at them with a firearm. Multiple shots were fired, resulting in Popper's injury. In a separate incident, Patrick Jones reported to police that he came under gunfire while driving his vehicle in the vicinity of Mopan Street. Despite overturning a short distance away from where the shooting occurred, he was unable to escape unscathed.
On the 7th of March, police visited the KHMH where they observed Corey Popper, a 22-year-old suffering from apparent gunshot wound. Initial investigation revealed that Popper was standing in front of a residence along with other male persons, socializing sometime around midnight, when a black vehicle approached them and opened fire in their direction, causing his injury. We know that he was rushed to the KHMH where he is listed in a stable condition. We also had a report last night that Patrick Jones was driving his pickup truck on Mopan Street, and upon reaching an area referred to as Plum Tree, several shots were fired at him. Luckily he wasn't injured, but when he drove off in a little distance, he lost control of his pickup truck that overturned, causing him to overturn, and he escaped unharmed from that attempt on his life.
A 34-year-old Belize City resident met a tragic end over the weekend on Key Cocker. Rashad Gillett, a well-known Belize City traffic officer, was at the split on Sunday when he decided to go for a swim. Unbeknownst to his relatives who were on the beach, Gillett was facing serious difficulties in the water. Minutes later, individuals on the beach reportedly alerted those around that Gillett appeared to be in need of assistance. But by that time, it was too late. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Rashad Gillett was enjoying a cool Sunday morning at the popular split on Key Cocker with his family when tragedy struck. The 34-year-old father reportedly jumped in the water for a swim. Moments later, his body was seen floating in the sea.
The only thing I will say about it, and I'm hearing it this morning, and I saw about posts, and I'm not upset about it because I was out there too. Okay. But doctors were on the site. Yeah. Little afterwards, the doctor showed up a couple of minutes, and then when we put him on the cart, another one came up and basically pushed my brother off the cart. I'm a doctor. When they got to the hospital or the polyclinic, they were two other doctors, so there were four. Contrary to what is being circulated on social media.
CPR was performed on Gillett, but it proved fruitless.
He was quiet with respect to other my other children and son. Always was willing to do things, go out of his way to help others. Rashad went to BES when it was by St. Catherine's before moving to the present location nearby. And then after that, St. John's High School. And from there he attended 2 years of a mechanic school in Los Angeles. And upon returning in late 08, he hung about around for a couple of years and before getting the job at City Council, where he was presently working until the unfortunate passing.
Gillett was employed by the Belize City Traffic Department as a traffic officer. Motorists who encountered him at his desk noted his warm and welcoming personality. Albert Vaughn, the Belize City Councillor responsible for traffic management, spoke of the great loss to the department.
If you allowed me to send my sincere condolences to the family, in particular the wife and the father, who I know well now, and also to the extended family of the Belize City Council. Mr. Gillett is a great loss to us. He has been with the council for over 9 years, and he has started up customer service, so you can see where he have went up. And he is a technical person. He's not just a traffic officer. He is an inspector for a vehicle. And to hold that post, that has to be gazetted, and it has to be trained for it. So it's a terrific loss for the council and Belize City in particular. It's a shock. This morning they held a little prayer vigilance for him and for the family. And it's unbelievable. People still not believe that Mr. Gillett has just gone like that, no?
Reports are that Gillett may have sustained an injury to the body when he jumped into the water. No one knows exactly how long Gillett was in the water struggling. By the time onlookers noticed that he was in need of assistance, his lifeless body had already floated a distance away from the split. Police say they are awaiting a post-mortem.
Rashad Gillett was at the famous split with friends and family, and he went for a swim. Minutes later, his relatives, heard people shouting. Mr. Gillett was removed from the water where they tried to administer resuscitation, and he was rushed to the Kikaka Polyclinic where he was pronounced dead by the medical officer there.
In the meantime, Gillett's family is preparing to lay him to rest.
Just an unfortunate incident that happened and situation. I was right there.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Coming up, a repeat performance in the 25th running of the La Ruta Maya River Challenge. Details when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word.
The Bible says, "Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and thou shalt be saved." Today there is so much easy believism being taught. People are saying, believe, believe, and you will be saved. The question is, what kind of believing is it that really saves? The Bible says the devil believes and trembles. Now, is the devil saved because he believes? Of course not. The kind of believing that's saved is the kind that commits oneself totally to Christ as Lord and Savior. True faith and belief involves three elements. It involves our intellect, our emotions, and our will. It involves the head, the heart, and the hand. With my intellect, I acknowledge there is a Christ. With my emotions, I have assurance that He died for me. With my hand or will, I accept Him as my personal Savior. So there you have it. It is the head, the heart, and the hand. Many people believe with the head, but not with the heart. Faith is not believing that Christ can, but that He will. Some people with this easy believism approach remind me of the people who believed a certain tightrope walker could push a wheelbarrow across Niagara Falls. But when he asked someone who said they believed to sit in the wheelbarrow, he had no takers. For the person who is willing to make a total commitment to Christ, it is true. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and thou shalt be saved.
Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Belizeans deserve a fast, dependable, high-quality internet service in their homes for online, virtual classes, and to work from home. It's the new way of life. DigiNet is the #1 fiber service that is powering Belize's digital transformation. And now, this reliable fiber service is even more affordable with our new entry plan. For a limited time only, you and your family can enjoy 20 megabits per second of fiber service to your home for only $49 monthly. No more missed classes and interrupted meetings. It's costing you time and money. DigiNet is better than cable and better than wireless. Visit a Digistore today to sign up for the best home internet service in Belize. Come see what you've been missing. Same high quality, fast, and reliable fiber service, now at an even lower price. For more information, visit livedigi.com/diginet. Digi, our national telecom.
What is a hybrid?
Toyota hybrid vehicles like me switch seamlessly between two power sources. Sometimes I travel using my petrol engine, sometimes I travel using my self-charging electric battery, and sometimes I travel using both at the same time. Which means I'm fun to drive, I produce less CO2 emissions, and I've got great electric acceleration. Not that I'm one to boast.
let's go for ice cream. And remember, if your mom hear about this, Amy will get her share too. Hey, Jack. How about you and Uncle Jay pair a little game?
No, Uncle, I don't like your games.
Well, that means I'll have to start playing with little Amy then.
No, not Amy. I'll play with you.
That's my baby girl.
Sexual violence against children can cause lifelong harm and suffering, which may often be hidden. Too many survivors of sexual violence are re-victimized, even by the very people who are supposed to love and protect them. The restrictions put into effect during the COVID-19 pandemic made it even more challenging for people to report acts of sexual violence. It is never too late to speak up and to seek help you or a loved one may need. Sexual violence may breed a vicious cycle of domestic violence, and its effects can span generations. Girls who experience sexual violence as children are also at higher risk of staying in situations of domestic violence. Belize will not be safe until its women are safe. Secure Belize.
Day 4 of the Belikin La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge was almost a snapshot of Day 1, with Team Pact dominating the event. The race started last Friday at the foot of the Hawkswork Bridge in Santa Elena, Cayo, and traveled 175 miles to the Belkin Bridge in Belize City on Monday. News 5's Marin Ali has a recap of the race in the following report.
The final sprint to the finish line at the Belkin Bridge in Belize City on Monday was a repeat of how the first leg of the race ended in Banana Bank on Friday. On both days, the three-man team for the Protected Areas Conservation Trust Pact possessed just enough muscle to out-paddle their closest rivals, slim and trim like Guava Lim, and the Belize Coast Guard in that order. Jerry Kante, who was lead paddler, told News 5 after the race that they had to dig deep to come up with victory.
It's very hard, because we didn't have enough training we needed, so this was a very tough one. We usually have 6 months of training. This year we had like five days training together as a team.
But while Team Pact enjoys the prizes they've earned this year, they will have to train hard to keep a close eye on second-place finishers, slim and trim like Guava Lim, who placed second overall and also made the finish on days 1 and 4, an entertaining sprint.
We feel very proud of completing in second place, and next year hopefully I'll try to complete in first place.
I know that your dad is also competing, right? Going up head-to-head against him?
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about what that experience was like. Did he give you any tips?
Well, yeah, when we train, yes, sir. When we train.
The Belize Coast Guard team, which also showed remarkable stamina and determination, also found the race a struggle this year.
This year the race was really tough for us. We did our best out there, and I'm happy with our results. So that gave us a little problem because we were building our own canoe, so that's kind of hold it back. But we just try to make sure that we did all our training we could.
Vice Chair of the event, Roberto Harrison, told News 5 at the start of the race that the organizers also had a challenge in putting the race together in such short notice when the all-clear was given that COVID would not stall the race this year.
We had registered this morning for the 6 teams, which is quite a feat for us because we were looking at 50, but we got 46. Challenging because we started out late in terms of planning.
How hard was it to find prizes?
Well, again, challenging because, again, the late start, the business community not having enough resources to donate to. But I think we captured quite a bit. We're hopeful that next year we know now that the pandemic is coming to its end, so that it allows us to have a longer planning time for next year.
The full chart with the names and times of the teams in the 8 categories can be viewed on the Belikin La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge Facebook page. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Prime Minister John Briceño is heading a delegation to Taiwan this week. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of China, Taiwan, in a release, welcomed the Prime Minister's visit to Taiwan. The statement goes on to say that Prime Minister Briceño will be welcomed with military honors and a state banquet before receiving the Order of Propitious Clouds with special grand cordon. The release further notes that PM Briceño will be awarded an honorary doctorate from the Kunshan University. During his visit, PM Briceño is also expected to engage with Taiwan's leaders on matters of common concern. During his absence, Cordell Hyde, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Natural Resources, Petroleum and Mining, will act as Prime Minister. Prime Minister Briceño is expected to return on March 12th. At its last meeting, Cabinet also recommended that the Cannabis Control and Licensing Bill be introduced at the next sitting of the House of Representatives. Upon adoption of the Cannabis Control Bill, the licensing of the cannabis industry and the establishment of necessary legislative framework will be undertaken. This is to govern and control how the industry is managed. In other cabinet news, the Ministry of the Blue Economy and Civil Aviation has gotten the green light for the presentation of a draft national mariculture policy. This will lead the development of a sustainable mariculture industry. Cabinet also gave its approval for the Attorney General's ministry to amend the law that will allow Belize to adopt the Madrid Protocol as part of our domestic legal framework. And lastly, while the COVID-19 numbers have shown to be on the decline, as of March 3rd, the Ministry of Health had in store almost 250,000 doses of vaccines. Up to that same date, a little over 207,000 persons, or about 48% of the total population, had been fully vaccinated, while over 214,000, or just under 50% of the population, recently had their first shot. A little over 39,000 citizens have received their booster shots, and almost 31,000 students from ages 12 to 17 had received at least one dose of the vaccine. She was put to death in 1963 after a skewed justice system condemned her for the death of her abusive policeman common-law husband. Now, on the occasion of International Women's Day, Cabinet has announced that Nora Parham, the only woman to ever be sentenced and put to death in Belize, be given a posthumous pardon to, quote, correct a historic wrong, unquote. Minister of Human Development Dolores Balderramos Garcia had proposed at the last House meeting that the late Miss Parham be considered for the pardon. A release from the government press office today states that Cabinet is of the view that the pardon will help to play a meaningful role on the focus we place on matters of domestic violence. Governor General Forla Salam will be asked to take the recommendation to the Belize Advisory Council for consideration. While the pardon can do nothing to bring Nora Parham back, it is hoped that it will serve to offer her family some consolation for a crime she was convicted of and made to pay the ultimate price, despite the fact that her trial, conviction, and sentence were widely thought to be unfair. News 5 spoke with Minister Balderramos Garcia via Zoom.
I think the beginning of it is on the 4th of February, I raised in the House of Representatives at the time we moved the motion against domestic violence, which received the unanimous support of the House. At that time when I moved the motion, I did raise this issue of the possibility of the granting of a posthumous pardon to Nora Parham to, as I put it, right a historic wrong and correct a stain on our history. So I think that's where it started. Now, please let me clarify though. On Friday last, Cabinet gave its approval or its support to the proposal that we will of course need to send to the Governor General and the Belize Advisory Council. So I wouldn't call it a decision as yet. Of course, the decision of Cabinet is to lend its support and to move the process forward. So if you look at Section 52 of the Constitution, as our Attorney General has advised, the prerogative of mercy is in the hand of the Governor General, who may grant a pardon. And then the Section 52 of the Constitution goes on to say that the prerogative of mercy and the pardon will be exercised on the advice of the Belize Advisory Council. So just to make it abundantly clear, Cabinet has not taken the decision. We have to put it to the Governor General, who will put it then to the Belize Advisory Council for its advice and recommendation. And then we are hoping that the process can be completed. But I must tell you, if you allow me, how thrilled I am that today this news is coming out, which is International Women's Day. I think this is really a mark of history. It's an excellent thrill, I believe, for not only for the women of Belize, but all Belizeans.
As to the historic wrong that Cabinet is seeking to correct, Minister Garcia says no right-thinking member of society today would have wished for Ms. Parham to be convicted. Minister Garcia contends that a decision today would have seen a different outcome.
Even if Ms. Parham had been guilty of the crime that she was accused of, still the judge at the time, as well as jury members at the time, who were all men, they recommended what you would call clemency. But you know, Paul, when you look at the facts of the case as reported, and please, none of us were there in the courtroom back in 1963, but when you look at what is reported to have happened, I don't believe that right-thinking members of society today would have wished for Ms. Parham to have been convicted. So, and we know, as a matter of history, that thousands of people wished for her to be given clemency at the time. Unfortunately, it was a colonial government administration under the governor, Sir Peter Stallard, and despite all the pleas for clemency, those pleas were turned down and Ms. Parham was sent to hang. So the wrong, I think, was that when we look at the horrible domestic violence that Ms. Parham suffered, when we look at all of that, I believe that today a decision could have been different. We cannot bring back Ms. Parham, but what we can do is right a wrong in the best way that we can at this time.
After the break, an employee of Bicol falls to his death at the Chaleo Dam. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Towering above us, they give us oxygen and food, tools and shelter, and create some of the most biodiverse habitats on Earth. As the biggest plants on the planet, trees are important for life. In fact, research shows that within minutes of being surrounded by trees, your blood pressure drops, your heart rate slows down, and your stress levels plummet. In Belize, we are blessed to have 60% of our national territory under forest cover and nearly half of our national territory safeguarded in the form of protected areas. Protected areas are safe havens that preserve our forests and jungles of Belize from mass destruction and extraction, or as it's known, deforestation. And as Belize's population increases, it's opening a gateway for unsustainable rural land use. Logging and farming also significantly contributes to deforestation. We need healthy forests, as they absorb carbon dioxide and other harmful gases from the atmosphere. So without them, the rate of climate change accelerates and greenhouse gases in the atmosphere increases. Without forests, soil would wash away, leaving behind a barren wasteland where no crops will grow, forcing farmers to move on and repeat this destructive cycle elsewhere. Like kidneys, trees control the flow and use of water by catching rain and slowly releasing it into rivers and streams or into groundwater below, which protects us from flooding. As the heart and lungs of the world, trees power and sustain ecosystems. They offer habitation both above and below the ground to numerous insects and bigger animals alike. By providing food and shelter, Belize's forests and jungles support life and rich biodiversity. Without trees, what will be left of our jewel? We must work together to combat the unsustainable use of land and illegal logging. We encourage you to preserve existing forest ecosystems and to support protected areas. A message from Apamo, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
I've always enjoyed the different flavors of my country. Every nook and cranny has its own unique taste.
Our history, rich with culture. We've come so far since our independence. Our flag, rivers, mountains, our people, diverse and strong.
Looking back, I am proud and honored. We must continue to preserve and conserve our culture and country for the next generation.
This is our Belize. Respect it, cherish it, love it.
The Energy Unit in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Energy, Logistics and E-Governance will be conducting a National Energy Use Survey from the 2nd of February to 30th May 2022. The survey will cover all sectors of Belize's economy, and the collected information will be used to support energy policies and assist in planning a sustainable future for Belize's energy sector. If your household has been selected, an enumerator will visit your home with an identification card. Enterprises will receive an online questionnaire to complete. In both cases, the ministry requests your kind cooperation. This survey is financed by a grant from the Global Environmental Facility via the World Bank, acting as the project executing agency under the framework of the Energy Resilience for Climate Adaptation Project.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, The Barry, Tropigas, and Quartz. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
fatal mishap on Friday afternoon in Orange Walk District has claimed the life of 27-year-old Abner Magana. It is reported that Magana was riding a scooter along the Yo Creek Road when he collided into a bridge. The impact of the collision flung Magana under the concrete bridge. Despite being rushed to the Northern Regional Hospital for emergency medical treatment, Magana succumbed to his injuries.
Friday around 1:20 p.m. police visited a scene at the Yo Creek Road. But when they arrived there, they were informed that the motionless body of Abner Magana was removed from under the bridge in Yo Creek Village. And the initial investigation revealed that he was driving his scooter on that road when he lost control and ran into the bridge and ended up under the bridge. He was transported to the Northern Regional where he was pronounced dead on arrival.
Nothing to indicate any sort of impairment, just lost control of the...
Well, that's what the investigation reveals so far. No? We know that officers are still investigating.
54-year-old Ermin Basto was seriously injured on Sunday afternoon in Shaibe Village. The incident took place on an unnamed street within the village. It is reported that Eulohio Nat Jr., who is on the run from police, inflicted the machete wounds on Basto.
On the 6th of March, around 12:47 p.m., police visited the Corozal Community Hospital, where they saw Ermin Eloy Basto, 54 years, suffering from chop wounds. Initial investigation revealed that Basto was involved in an argument in Shaibe Village. And this was with one Eloyo Na Jr., who caused his injuries. I know that investigators have not detained, and Basto is still in the hospital receiving treatment, listed in a stable condition.
A Belize City resident is lucky to have escaped grave injuries when he was fired upon by an unknown assailant as he stood near a grocery store on Freetown Road. The incident happened on Saturday night and has left Charles Reed recovering from gunshot wounds he received during the attack.
Sometime around 3 p.m., where police visited area on Freetown Road in front of a grocery store, where Charles Reed was standing when a lone male person on a bicycle, unknown to him, rode past and fired shots at him. One hit him. He was transported to the KHMH where he's listed in a stable condition. No?
Any idea as to what they have prompted the shooting?
Well, like I said, he couldn't identify that person, and has since told investigators that he doesn't know why anyone would want to shoot at him.
A Belize Electricity Company Limited employee reportedly fell from a high post and died over the weekend. Reports are that San Jose Socots resident Carlos Rodriguez was working at the Chalillo Dam when he plunged to his death. He was reportedly transported to the KHMH where he was pronounced dead on arrival. A release from the company says, quote, "The company's management has spoken to his family and co-workers and have expressed deepest sympathies to everyone involved," unquote. The release goes on to say, quote, "BCOL is working closely with authorities on the investigation into the matter, and so no further information is available at this time. The health and safety of our employees remains paramount, as is the safe operation of the Chalillo Dam," unquote. BCOL extended its sincere condolences. Just ahead, Lamanai is named among 2022's World Monuments to Watch, and a Belizean contestant makes it to the 42nd season to Survivor. But first, here is a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Get your body sculpted with gym equipment and accessories from Benny's.
Celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Being fire-wise is knowing about the dangers of forest fires. We all know that during the dry season there's a greater chance of forest fires because of large amounts of dry leaves and dead branches that can easily ignite. Know the risks and help prevent fires from starting. Be prepared in the event that they do, and know how to protect yourself and your loved ones. For more information on how to prevent, prepare, and protect yourself and our forest from fires, call the Forest Department at 822-1524 or find us on Facebook.
Do people actually hear from God? Are there really angels and demons? Okay, now that's just unbelievable. In our next series, we're going beyond the Google search and facing the tough questions. It's time to take on the skeptic and eliminate the doubt. From inconceivable to unimaginable, we're talking about the Bible's most unbelievable truths. Every second of this series will be worth your while. Believe it or not.
Video on demand. Coming soon.
The World Monuments Fund has announced that the Lamanai Archaeological Reserve and its wider cultural landscape has been named the 2022 World Monuments Watch. This is a selection of 25 heritage sites of worldwide significance, whose preservation is urgent and vital to the surrounding communities. According to Heritage Education Network Belize, the watch sites demonstrate pressing global challenges of climate change, imbalanced tourism, underrepresentation, and recovery from crisis. Lamanai is the Orange Walk in the Orange Walk district, is an archaeological site with histories of the Maya, Spanish, Chinese, and British descendants in Belize. Launched in 1996 with founding sponsor American Express, the watch is announced every 2 years and includes heritage places nominated by individuals and community-based organizations across the globe. To date, WMF has contributed more than $110 million toward projects at more than 300 watch sites. The local nominator, Heritage Education Network Belize, is a nonprofit organization established in 2020 and led by Belizean and international archaeologists, heritage professionals, and Belizean volunteers with 40-plus years of collective experience in the field. A Belizean contestant will be featured in the 42nd season of the long-running CBS show Survivor. Romeo Escobar is well known in the world of pageantry for his work with the Miss Universe Belize organization. Well, he decided to put aside the glitz and glamour to rough it out in the unforgiving wilderness of Fiji in the South Pacific. Against all odds, Escobar fulfilled his childhood dream of becoming a Survivor contestant. News 5's Paul Lopez spoke with Escobar via Zoom ahead of the show's Thursday premiere on CBS.
It's hungry, and it's coming for you.
We have to earn everything.
You can see the exhaustion on your.
From directing beauty pageant contestants on the world stage to Survivor contestant, Romeo Escobar defied the odds by becoming a competitor in Survivor 42.
I've always been a huge fan of Survivor. Ever since I was 14 years old, I always wanted to be on the show. But no one thought that I could do it because, you know, everyone that knows me back home knows I'm the director of Miss Universe Belize. I'm always all put together. I don't look like I will be outside, dirty, not showering, not brushing my teeth, not eating. But I'm a fan of the show, so there's no way that I could say no.
Escobar applied for the competition, and much to his surprise, he was chosen as one of the participants. Filmed in May of 2021, Season 42 of the show is said to have pushed the new group of contestants to their limits physically, mentally, and strategically in pursuit of the $1 million prize.
Going into the show, I already knew as a fan what to expect. I already knew that I was going to be hungry. I already knew that there was going to be no shower. I already knew I was going to sleep on the floor. You know what I'm saying? But it's one thing seeing it on the TV, it's another thing doing it and being out there in Fiji, in the island of Fiji, and having with the bugs and the no food and the no showering, and the sun and the rain, being rained on. So it's one thing to say, oh, I can do that. It's another thing being out there and having to survive all those hard things that happen to you during the show. But I can tell you that none of us showered, none of us had nothing to eat. We would eat a bit of coconut, maybe if we caught a fish in the ocean. But other than that, we don't eat nothing. I lost so much weight, and it was hard. It was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. 100% real. You know, it's easy to watch from home on your couch and you say, oh, that's fake. You know, that's not real. It's real. I can tell you it's 100% real, everything that you see on the show.
Survivor Season 42 is set to premiere on Thursday, March 9th. And while Escobar was barred from telling us how he did on the show, he did tell us about the biggest life lesson he received as a contender.
As everyone knows, I work with young women, you know, building up young women in Belize through the Miss Universe Belize organization as the director. And one of the things that I always tell the young ladies is that if you put your mind to something, you can do it. So I had to tell myself that when I was out there, when I was hungry, when I was tired, when I was cold, I kept telling myself, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And that's the biggest lesson, is that as long as you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The lives of 5 families in the Orange Walk district were changed when they received the keys to their new homes. The families received the homes through the Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Housing under the ministry's Pilot Homes project. Present to hand over the homes were Prime Minister John Briceño, Area Representative for Orange Walk Julius Espat, the Minister of Housing, and Kevin Bernard, the Area Representative for Orange Walk East. Here's a look at the reactions of the recipients, courtesy of the Government Press Office.
Hoy es mi cumpleaños y mi birthday y gracias que me están dando un regalo en mi casa. Gracias.
I feel happy and I waited and patience that counts the best, right? So I'm very happy about it and I thank the PM for giving me this opportunity to have my own house.
Es una gran sorpresa que recibir en abrir mi casa, mi nueva casa, mi nuevo hogar. Gracias por este gran ayuda. Le damos mucho apoyo de que siga adelante en su trabajo y dé más oportunidades a más gente que necesitan ese hogar para ellos mismos.
I feel very grateful to God, and I'm thankful to the government because He is giving us this help, and I feel grateful to everyone who's working arduously in this project, and I hope that many other single women or single mom are able to get the opportunity that they're giving me and others.
Me siento muy contento por estar aquí con todos ustedes y estar con mi familia y todo, y gracias por la casa.
That kind of feel you can't buy. I mean, and it again continues to remind me and to keep my feet grounded, to ensure that we never forget why is it that we are elected in government. We're elected in government to be able to serve the people, to help especially those that need the most. And today we have 3 great examples in San Esteban with you, right now with the Novello family in the center of town, and with the Helicana family. These are 3 families that are poor, they're struggling, and giving them a house like this, it transforms their life.
Again, it drives home the point that this is a government that really cares for the people and want to invest in the Belizean people. This is not just a shelter for them, but this is where they will continue to build their family.
It's an opportunity that the government is doing. The emphasis, the mandate, everything is for our people, the Belizean people, to really take advantage of a situation like this. It is empowering lives. They can now use, once they get the title, use it to invest in maybe in further expanding the house or in educating their children. We're serious about raising the quality of life, and that is not done by just giving somebody $1 or a plate of food. That is done a little bit more fundamental. Education, health, housing is where I think and where we believe the emphasis needs to be done.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.